Welcome to Celeb News Daily. Please subscribe for more updates as we keep you updated with your favorite celebrities. The faint glow of the setting sun filtered through the large windows of Ben Affleck's Los Angeles home. The air was thick with the smell of fresh coffee, but the atmosphere between the old couple was much more complex. Ben sat on the edge of his couch, his gruff features tinged with a rare vulnerability as he watched Jennifer, who had just walked through the door. Jennifer Garner, still graceful but visibly tired from the weight of her decision, stood across from him. Her eyes, once filled with the steadfast confidence of a woman who had moved on, now held a trace of the past they had shared. It was a past marked by love, laughter, and 3 beautiful children that were the foundation of their relationship, even after the divorce. "Well," Jennifer began, her voice shaking slightly, a stark contrast to the usual strength she carried. "I think a lot about us, about everything. More questions about why things ended this way." Ben's gaze dropped to the floor, his hand instinctively rubbing the back of his neck, a habit he had picked up over the years of pressure from his career, the public eye, and his personal demons. "I knew this conversation was going to happen, but I didn't know how to react." "I'm not here to apologize," Jennifer Garner continued, taking a step closer, her voice now louder, "but I realize that we've never been given a good chance to heal together in ways. Also about our pain, that we've forgotten what that brought us together in the first place." She paused, letting silence settle between them. Ben finally looked up, met her gaze. The sincerity in his eyes was undeniable. He remembered all the moments they had shared, the good, the bad, and the ugly. However, at that moment, all he could see was the woman who had been his companion all this time. "We're both wrong," Jennifer Garner admitted, her voice cracking a little as she sat down next to him. "But what if? What if we find a way back? For us, for the children. I don't want to look back in a few years and wonder if we could do it." Ben was silent, his thoughts racing. He had always admired Jennifer's ability to express her feelings, even when he had a hard time expressing himself. She was right, both had made mistakes. His addiction problems, his public mistakes, and the strain he had put on their relationship had taken a toll on both of them. Jennifer held out her hand, gently placing it in hers. "I'm not looking for answers right now. I just had to tell you how I feel. I still care about you, Ben. I always think so." For a moment, the weight of the world seemed to be lifted as Ben shook her hand, a silent acknowledgement of everything she had said. The road ahead of them, if they choose to travel together, would be difficult, full of challenges to rebuild trust and love. But as they sat, side by side, the possibility of reconciliation hung in the air. A faint hope that maybe, just maybe, they could find their way back to each other. Jennifer smiled softly, a glimmer of hope reflected in her eyes. "Take your time, Ben. Whatever happens, I'll always be by your side, as always." As she stood up to leave, Ben felt a pain he hadn't felt in a long time, an emotion buried deep beneath the layers of their complicated history. He froze as she walked toward the door, her silhouette framed by the fading light. "Jen," he called, his voice hoarse but sincere. He turned, his expression hopeful. "Maybe we can start by having dinner together. Just the 2 of us. No waiting, no pressure." A smile spread across Jennifer's face, the kind that reached her eyes, the kind that Ben hadn't seen in years. "I'd love to," she replied softly, and with that, she was gone, leaving Ben alone with his thoughts, but not his regrets. The future was uncertain, but for the first time in a long time, it didn't seem so scary. This story imagines a moment of tender and vulnerability between Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck, highlighting the complexity of love, forgiveness, and the possibility of second chances. Thanks for watching. Do not forget to subscribe for more updates.